So I thought today we will go over the scoop on poop. So on average, 1,000-pound horse will produce around 30 pounds of manure a day. Now that number could be a lot more, up to like 50 pounds on a big horse that just happens to poop a lot. But that adds up. So we have 60 horse carriages at any given time running in the park. And most of our manure does get caught in this diaper bag. Let me show you here. Where are we? There we are. Okay, so it goes into that diaper bag, and that is connected to an extension here that lets it drop down into there. And every once in a while, we'll get a little spill. So all the carriage drivers or carriage owners do chip in, and we pay someone who actually does a couple rounds a day to sweep up that manure, and all of that is collected. And all the manure our horses make at our stable is then put into some big blue tubs that I will show you in a little bit back at the stable. The manure is brought up from other floors in our freight elevator. This is our manure room. We got the plastic curtains open at the moment. Our manure gets stored in this manure room in these blue tubs here. And that is actually picked up at a mushroom farmer's expense. He's one of the largest mushroom farmers on this side of the country, and he comes and picks up at all that manure, and he uses it for compost, because horse manure actually makes really great compost, especially for mushrooms. So we will use a straw bedding instead of a wood chip bedding at our stables, which is better for those mushrooms. And if you happen to have any mushrooms while you were around this area, it is quite possible our horses helped out with that. Again, I've said a few times that I always found it so silly when people complain about that smell, because it's really not like human or dog or whatever other kind of poop smell. It's actually like, it's very kind of, it's manure itself is basically just hay, pretty much. That's why it just kind of dissolves in the rain. So whatever is kind of left over sort of disappears. It's not a bad smell. If you're a horse person that grew up around horses, you know, it's not like, horse smell is kind of like a combination between the horse hair and the hay and the manure. And it's just sort of this combination that actually smells good if you're an animal person who's, you know, works around horses. So I never really understood people complaining about the smell. Some horses do have a stinkier poop than others, but it's, you know, not really a negative thing to me. I never got that. And it's not at all like when you step in dog poop. You can just rinse it right off. And hygienically, like, you are not going to get sick from it. I mean, in like a life or death emergency, you could technically eat it and you'd be fine. I do not recommend that. It's not a delicacy. But as far as you think you're going to get sick from it or something, it's not carrying like those bad bacteria and all that. I mean, we should wash our hands more often, but as horse people, we probably don't as often as we should, because to us it just kind of washes over. I mean, I wouldn't even flinch having, you know, horse poop on my hands once in a while. It's not like we're going for it, actively, you know, reaching out for it, but you know, it just kind of happens in this line of work. We are often scooping poop at the stable. You know, if you happen to be in the shower stall and your horse goes, you scoop it up. It's not a big deal. This is what every horse person does. Their stalls do have 24/7 stablemen. So those stablemen will be mucking out those stalls pretty often, but with the volume that horses poop, there are times that, you know, it's not like someone goes running in there every single second, and occasionally the horses will lay down in a bit. So that is why we have to wash and brush our horses regularly to get that out. But occasionally, of course, it'll stain a little if you don't get to it soon enough, because your horse slept in it overnight. I feel like some of my horses are just like, think it makes a nice pillow or something, the way I come in and they've got it on their face and I gotta get that off. I'm like, what did you do to yourself? So this is not like a, you know, it's, to me, it's just so squeamish. It's weird to me, like funny to me that people are like squeamish about it. Like it's horse poop, it's manure. Like It's great for your garden. People sometimes come out and ask us to borrow some. So they will scoop some out of our diaper bag and we gladly give it to them. And, you know, it's just like weird that people like complain about this sometimes. I can see if it really piled up, but police horses and Parks Department horses do not have to clean up after their horses. I think it's more of a safety thing. They'd have to like get down and, you know, carry it around and all of that. So it's not really safe for them to, you know, just dismount every time their horse poops. Cars will run it over. It kind of just flattens out. And when it rains, it basically just dissolves and it's gone. And it's, you know, good for nature. So, yeah, our horses poop. Not a big deal.